them every single day, and many of us have them near us right now, the camera. Today I will be sharing how photography has evolved from the first image to where we are today. The first image was taken in 1826, so a lot of time has passed to get us to where we are with today's technology. After my presentation, the audience will know how the camera has evolved throughout all that time. This is an older version of the camera. As you can see, it's a lot different from what we're used to seeing today in the stores, and what many of us have in our homes, because cameras have advanced. Today I will discuss with you who discovered photography, how it was discovered, and how it evolved to get to what we all know today. We use cameras daily throughout the world, and it's beneficial to know how the technology that we're so used to was created. Let me begin by sharing about how the camera was originally discovered. This is a drawing of the first camera. The first image was created in 1826 by Joseph Niépce Niépce. He was 61 when he discovered the first camera. This took place in France because he was a French inventor, and he took the first image using a camera obscura, which was basically a larger box with a lens that allowed light to pass through it. Inside of the camera obscura, he used a pewter plate and an asphalt derivative that exposed to sunlight after 8 hours created the first image. This is a picture of the first image. As you can see, it's not very similar to what we would call an image today. This one shows landscapes, trees, and outbuildings. After this image was taken, it was taken to England and given to the Bauer family. It was after that eventually donated to the University of Texas. Barbara Brown, in an article titled "The First Photo," said, "Details in the original image are very faint, not due to fading. The heliographic process is a relatively permanent one, but rather to Niépce's underexposure of the original plate." Next, we will discuss the history of the film camera. This is an older box camera, which again looks nothing like what we're used to seeing today. Film cameras are offered for sale. In 1888, that looked similar to this. The brand that was most well known was Kodak. This is an advertisement from that brand around that time period that you would have seen in stores. George Eastman created this camera. It was manufactured shortly following the creation of paper film in 1885. The first film camera was the boxed version that I just showed you. It had a fixed focal length, and it would take 100 pictures on the film inside. The film would then be sent to a company that would develop the pictures and return them to your family. The first Polaroid camera was released by Edward Herbert. It was marketed in 1948. It produced images in just 1 minute. The image production process took place by the photo being printed from the camera. All you had to do was turn a knob that would send the exposed negative through a group of reagents that would create the image. Now let's move on to the history of the digital camera, the one we're more familiar with today. It was created in 1975. Michael Zhang, of the world's first photo digital camera by Kodak and Dave Sanson, said it was created in December 17, 1975 by an engineer at Eastman Kodak named Steve Sanson, now regarded as the inventor of the first digital camera. The first digital camera recorded only in black and white. These images were stored onto cassette tapes and then played back on TV to share with friends and family. It took 23 seconds for the first digital camera to create an image. The modern day digital camera that we're more familiar with looks similar to this one. This is my camera. The first single lens reflex camera was released in 1991. Ann David stated in an article titled "The History of Cameras Illustrated Timeline" that Kodak released the first professional digital camera system, which was of great use to photojournalists. Today's cameras use memory cards to store images, which is just this tiny flat disk that can be placed in your computer for viewing. These cards are capable of holding 3,000 images, which is insane. Pictures are taken in just 1/8,000th of a second, which is a big difference from the 23 seconds it would take the original digital camera to produce an image. and a big jump from the 8 hours that it took the first image to be produced. Cell phone cameras are accessible to all of us. We have them near us all the time, and we use them to take many images. In conclusion, I hope that my presentation on photography has taught you how it has evolved since the first image was taken in 1826. It took roughly 200 years for this technology to advance, and it's amazing what cameras can do today. Now go out and use these amazing cameras to take all of your life important moments and keep them forever. My name is Kelly Moody. This is for CST 100 Online, and this was my informative speech.